Rhaelegarians, a race that has so far been represented by only a few, one of them being R-Type X, one of Haven's most powerful characters during a time where the city needed it most. But as we head into a golden age and a major turning point for the tank, we're going to be getting a closer look into the lives of various player characters and cultures, so surely there is more to the Rhaelegarian than what we've seen through the stoic Wandering King. We asked you all to submit lore so we can expand on the Rhaelegarian, and no better person to start this with than the player who created him. Rios, stoking the wildfires of creation, R-Type X submits. Peak physical and mental conditioning. Rhaelegarians have intensively trained and evolved their bodies to possess the highest level of strength, speed, stamina, and endurance that a humanoid can have without artificial enhancements. Okay, I think he meant can't have without artificial enhancements. Being the prominent natural-born race of warriors of Haven, they're known to be very resilient and adaptive. As they continue battling, their minds and bodies continue to adapt and improve from the experience. So we got to make sure that, because we're talking about a base race, the foundation, and we don't want to give any races some things that are going to be people's abilities, such as peak strength, speed, stamina, because what happens is you have characters who will be created starting off with abilities already like that. Like these are going to be main abilities for characters, because remember, we're asking everyone to be very specific. So super strength might be someone's ability, you know what I mean? And we don't want people to just be Rhaelegarians, and then, it can get OP. So these are base races. We can say, maybe a small percentage of this race is at peak strength, speed, and stamina, but it's like very rare to see. Maybe they strive to that, and there are people who are very close. I mean, if you think about it, this is exactly, I feel like I'm describing R-Type X here. So we just gotta dial that back a little bit. As they continue battling, their minds and bodies continue to adapt and improve from the experience, to which they instinctively learn from their mistakes and become more accustomed to the adversity before them. So, I mean, that can be maybe, we can say, they're disciplined, but, not all Rhaelegarians are going to be so like that. Like we're describing a race of people, and as opposed to a person or a clan or small group of people. Just want to, just whatever we read going forward, just remember that there is, for people thinking of being Rhaelegarians, there's going to be flexibility there for you. So this doesn't necessarily apply to you, but just maybe R-Type X, to which they instinctively learn from their mistakes and become more accustomed to the adversity before them. Even more, Rhaelegarians' bodies recover and adapt from the injuries. Their minds and bodies will grow considerably stronger than before. They naturally possess pink muscle fibers. Red muscle, which has a high endurance but very little strength. White muscle is composed of high strength but low speed and endurance. Pink muscle, which is a hybrid of the two. Rhaelegarians' musculature generates less fatigue toxins during physical activity than the musculature of the regular humanoids of Haven. They can physically exert themselves at peak capacity for several hours and days before fatigue begins to impair them. Mental toughness is essential for basic performance, and especially in high stress situations. Both are critical need and function in the face of the performance degrading effects of combat, mission or response stress. Optimize performance, success, safety, and survival in the field. So we'll just boil that down and say that the Rhaelegarians are in physical shape, mental shape, and most of them are disciplined when it comes to their physical and mental conditioning. And for that, obviously, if you're in physical and mental health, your body naturally tends to be healthier when it comes to its your immune system. So, let me think. This has to be a keyword, right? No, because that's more of a physical thing. I would like the keywords to more so deal with social and role-playing aspects of the game. So yeah, that is the physical and mental conditioning. We're not going to do a keyword off of that. But again, yeah, as we go forward and we dive into the rest of these things, just remember that we're describing a race here, and your Rhaelegarian can certainly be different. And this is more so just a foundation for you to go off of. That's why we're expanding the race, but we don't want to expand or kind of describe a particular character. Number 2, physical traits and senses. They bear many physical and cultural similarities to Black, African American, Japanese, Middle Eastern, Egyptian, Native Americans, and Polynesian peoples. In appearance, the Rhaelegarian skin tone can range from different shades of melanin from light brown to black, and their hair texture ranges from thick and wavy to tightly curled and wiry or even silky, pretty much everything. They are largely slightly above average in height and a well-muscled and sturdy physique. Their culture is martial by nature. Every man, woman, and child are schooled in the art of war and combat from a very young age. I like that. Back to the warrior race. This would explain why they never truly been defeated by any invading force. Their ferocity and versatility are also manifested into their personality. They have a very keen sense of smell, also. Have a powerful eyesight, sense of touch and hearing. They are very alert to vibrations through the ground and shifts in the air, enabling them to instinctively react to incoming danger from these subtle signals. This allows them to easily fight their opponents in absolute dark or even blinded. They have reflexes sharp enough to block attacks they are unable to see, and such speed to perform complex strikes and unreadable rates. So again, we let's have a vote at the end. Maybe we should make Rhaelegarians a NPC, an unplayable race, because they sound like they would be just good an NPC race. Don't they? Like maybe allies at one point, or maybe villains, and maybe they're just this entity that coexists with everyone in Gamma Haven, the game. And whether you have the Rhaelegarians on your side or not, can determine what kind of shit is going down in the game. Maybe one saga, somebody, the country of Narcissus is pissed off the Rhaelegarians, they're at war. Maybe another saga, they're at peace, and there's just like this ongoing relationship that you have with this particular race. And that way, because players aren't this race, they can kind of maintain these traits that the creator of Rhaelegarians is giving them. And that way we can really stay true, because I feel like he put so much thought into this that I would hate to strip it all down. Maybe we should just make this a NPC race that is unplayable, and R-Type X will be the only Rhaelegarian. Maybe that is, I like to come up with rewards on the fly. R-Type X is an exclusive race. What do y'all think about that? Or maybe just a watered down, we can water this down, which I really don't want to do that. So I think we're going to go with the NPC race thing. And it's good to do this now, as opposed to getting deep into this and be like, you know what? Maybe we should not have you all as a Rhaelegarian race. Oh, and by the way, R-Type X can remain the Rhaelegarian. We're just going to keep R-Type X a Rhaelegarian. And maybe we'll look at these sub races, and maybe we'll make these sub races the playable versions, and they are the ones that don't have this pure bloodline, this pure Rhaelegarian bloodline. How about that? Yes, let's roll with that. See, gotta compromise. Boom, boom, bang, bang. All right, people of the dragon. Combat is a language. Rhaelegarians were the first to introduce the concept of fighting as a viable form of communication. Fighting in conflict is a unique language that most others cannot interpret except for them. Maybe this is a part of the overall strength of the Rhaelegarian people, as they have shown to be able to analyze and understand others through fighting. Excuse me. Combat and war on such a deep and intuitive degree. Okay, I like that. Heavily musically inclined as well, Rhaelegarians' hearts and spirits can resonate together during battle to the rhythm of their own spirit and existence. This process is so strong it can become highly audible to others while sounding like drums of war echoing in existence. It is said you can hear the kingdoms of Rhaelegari before you ever set eyes on her. They're very perceptive and intuitive, quickly realizing the situation for what it is. Proficiency in Taoism martial arts allows them to take the various approaches in close/far combat, making them just as comfortable attacking from any angle and distance, striking with debilitating precision to quickly defeat multiple enemies. Deep. Good. Hey, you know, with the lore submissions, ask for them to be short. Please. Music. The art of balance and perspective. Rhaelegarian poets, rappers, artists are surrounded by dualities and conceptual ideologies their whole childhood, via through battle or just life, and have learned how to take the best of both worlds, which plays on this understanding of balance and contradiction. It was through their experiences as children that led them to have such a knack for the equilibrium, where they narrow in on everything only to take in aerial view. Drawing on their life encounters, songs take on perspectives of everyone in the scene they depict to create a 360 view of the situation. They're also known to inject their own worldview into famous songs. But instead of parodying them, they add a whole new element to the original. the remix. So the way he has it written here, he has RE with the colon and mix. And I don't know if he's if it's a play on Rhaelegarian, like, is it the Ray mix? Because if that's the case, that's fine. I like that. Hold up, I like that. Let's go back. Music, the art of balance and perspective. Rhaelegarian poets, rappers, artists are surrounded by dualities and conceptual ideologies for their childhood via through the battle. They're drawing on their life encounters. Songs take on perspectives of everyone in the scene they depict. Songs take on the perspectives of everyone in the scene they depict to create a 360 view of the situation. They're also known to inject. That's trippy as fuck. If I'm interpreting that right. The remix. Moo Raw Melodies. Maybe that's a mural, but he has the colon thing in there. Mural melodies. An actual mural is any piece of artwork painted or applied directly on a wall, ceiling, or other large permanent surfaces. A Rhaelegarian artist figuratively paints the picture around and creating the visuals. It is a fantasy, much like an actual mural being created and dying within a few moments, meant to be experienced, but something one wishes one could see in real life. Natural-born energy manipulators. The Rhaelegarians are masters and scholars of all things. Ergokinesis. Masters and scholars of all things. Ergokinesis. They can create, shape, study, and manipulate all known feasible forms of ergokinesis, having practically no limits on the amount or type of energy they can. This is R-Type X. Like, every race is just R-Type X, apparently. They can absorb, project, or manipulate. By manipulating ergokinesis on the quantum level, they train and learn to gain control over the fundamental forces of the universe. They use ergokinesis in various ways outside of combat, such as fashion, as the Rhaelegarian energy style fashion body. As the Rhaelegarian energy style fashion body applications are extremely popular in Haven and live text and live text, real life thought, speech bubbles constructed from energy is the latest craze among youth culture. Natural born energy manipulators. Yes, definitely gonna have to make this race. Maybe we could say there is just a small portion of this particular race, and you can't find them, and they're just powerful like this, because this is very powerful, right? Everybody can agree. So we should vote. We're going to have a vote in this video. In the upper right corner, there's going to be a vote option. I need everybody to vote. Do they want to nerf the hell out of this race and make them so as people can actually be them, so and still remain in the confines of the game and all the rules that I explained, or make them like this submission, very powerful, and they can be an NPC race. I kind of like the idea of an NPC race to kind of live alongside all the player characters, and this is something maybe I can, and the players can manipulate in a way. Just like another nation, you know what I mean? But then again, I would like one day there to be that many players where a nation can just be consisted of players, and maybe we won't need an NPC nation, but maybe we'll start with the NPC nation. I don't know. Let's vote. I want to know what y'all think. All right. So R-Type X, Marshall Mesa, and Alexandria, aka Ali, they all got together and created a short story. The short story is called The Secret Files of the Instigator, G-Type Project Effect / why the Rhaelegarian Nation was added to the tank. All right, this should be interesting. This is my first time reading this. I'm reading this shit live and not editing anything. The Instigator states, cosmic energy exists, and this nation's people started off as durable vessels made to evolve as a means utilize powerful fundamental forces. Reading it. However, evolution or not controlling the energy is like caging a wild animal. The Rhaelegarian, and if you don't know who the Instigator is, he is the Instigator. Everybody knows the Instigator, right? There's a character created by a player. He was brought in as the person who created this, who had his hand in the creation of all this tank orchestration. And he's a undead lich. The whole thing with the liches was inspired by the Instigator. He was a lich, so everybody that was with him, I wanted to make them all liches as well, and that's how we tied that to the Endless, and pow. The Rhaelegarian body needs to be massively durable, and the subject needs to be able to control every twitch, even as they suppress a burning pain. According to my calculations, the Lotus distributes motes of primordial power gathered from the cosmological creator, the Big Bang. The G-Type Rhaelegarians will be designed to be the warrior race of the tank that can harness and survive the energy and radiation beyond the tank eventually. Their bodies have been genetically engineered to be above peak, while also being imbued with unbreakable discipline and strength of spirit to reach a new and unique stage of evolution. They are built to be the best at gather the motes. They are built to be the best at gather the motes of the lotus of omni-transcendent energy, scattered about using an accelerated mind to shape it via heightened mental awareness. They're eager to train and grow when all else would have long stopped. I have imbued their design with affinity for balance, sheer will, and focus. The difference is discipline and training, not the genes. Accumulating studies have proven with each recycle of the tank, the G-Type Rhaelegarians have built up more stored energy in the previous cycles, essentially getting their stronger better. This rate of growth is outside of my design. They're capable of oh man, you hit me with big words. They're capable of, I always had trouble with this word. They're capable of empathetically detecting energies and are sensitive to the hostile intentions directed at them by others, allowing them to uncannily react to their opponents even before the offender carries out the intended action. One can argue that the warriors of Rhaegar are greater than all other I would argue that, and I'd be damn confident. One can argue that the warriors of Rhaegar are greater than all other G-types, merely because that is the bare minimum needed to contain the literal energy and flames within their bodies. It makes the advantage. It makes the average Rhaelegarian a story of fighting. It makes the average Rhaelegarian a story of fighting to overcome challenges internal and out. The Instigator lost his mind apparently when he created this race. The nation's vast power is built on the. That's why Death Tooth and then broke up. He went into the tank. It was like, this dude lost his mind. I'm gonna go work on this Rezanok, and I'm gonna leave you to your devices and your Rhaelegarians. The nation's vast power is built on the precipice between the tank's power nodes, along with their existence. Dealing with literal conceptual monsters theoretically gives them the best chance to deal with the evasive realm labeled the Abyss. It has shown throughout history the cycles of adaptation to extremely powerful forces, most likely supplemented by Project Monster Island and its mysteries. Under the assumption that every G-type is evolving constantly, the Rhaelegar nation serves to provide the strongest representation of one, overcoming all obstacles through empowering the body and mind to rest of the inhabitants of the tank. Is this a note? Is this a note? Should I be reading this as the instigator? I don't know anymore. Rhaelegar, the absolute monarchy in perfect harmony via a standalone complex. The kingdoms of Rhaelegar are an absolute monarchy in perfect harmony, demonstrating all the positive benefits of a monarchy with little to no negative drawbacks or effects. This feels like that shouldn't be possible. How could a nation, a war nation at that, achieve a harmonious state of being that all other nations struggle with? Because they understand strength, that's why. That's my guess. To help explain as to why so many fierce individuals, I love that. Like, I really want that to be explored, and that's why I really want this race to exist. Maybe we should just have a race of Rhaelegarians who are just man, this is a roller coaster ride, right? I like the idea. See, I have no problem with giving people power because this game is more than about just having power. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to see a race of characters who role play, you know, like they all have to be warriors. I know I said if you're a Rhaelegari, you don't have to be the same, but maybe this should be a hard rule for the Rhaelegarians is you have to be, you know, a warrior, you know what I mean? But I don't know. No, we can't make people like super powerful. Role playing wise, if you're going to be a Rhaelegarian, maybe you should, nah, we can't. I mean, they're too powerful, right? They can't, they have too many things. And we would have, it's like having a sub and just pouring all the food out of the sub, out of the bread, out of all the meats, all the toppings, all the dressing, the sauces, you know, all the French fries you stuffed in that sub. We're pouring it all out if we make this a playable race. So again, we'll vote. That vote is in the upper right corner of this YouTube video. We're going to vote because, man, it's possible. I want to make it happen, but there's going to definitely have to be some, we're going to have to approach this differently. The Lotus. This standalone phenomenon is where a large portion of unrelated individual Rhaelegarians act in a similar manner, which creates an appearance of a concerted effort. An accidental collectivism is then made up of detached individuals resembling a highly organized a highly organized concept and understanding to a cause or goal while lacking a deliberate shared origin. It is not known if this phenomenon reaches other races of G-types. Okay, Professor Rios. Yo, my man went ham. There's science behind the Rhaelegarians, damn it. We gotta make this a race. All right, Subrace by Rios. A subrace. Sejin Rhaelegarians, the clan of a trillion skies. Yeah, so the whole race is, they gotta be warriors, and maybe, you know, as a character, you have to fall in line with one. You have to join a clan. You have to be of a clan. It has to be a clan. We'll let Rios come up with the clans. Yeah. Just because I love his passion for this character, or I'm sorry, this race. Rios, the creator of Rios, the creator of Rhaelegarians. Rios sounds like a Rhaelegarian name. You come up with the clans, and when characters join as a Rhaelegarian, you just make sure that, you know, they know that they got to come into a clan. All right, and you just send me the clans when you get a chance. Make some clans. Don't make it like a million. Don't make a trillion skies. Don't make a sky of clans. Maybe, I'll let you be the judge of that. Just don't make a whole bunch. And when players create Rhaelegarians, they got to come in as one of these clan members. Yeah, Shane, nah. The clan of a trillion sky, Sejin, means star people. Ooh. They're a subgroup of Rhaelegarians that specializes more on intellect in their studies and psychology, astronomy, energy manipulation, music, and technology. Sejin. Rhaelegarians do not believe in the idea of separation. They believe all energies in the universe have all originated from one source. Sejin. Rhaelegarians believe, am I saying that right? Sejin? Maybe the Sajin. Rhaelegarians believe they draw their strength from all subsources. Now I'm just thinking about subs and shit. Draw all their energy from subs. They exert their internal spiritual power and connect with the energy around them. Instead of absorbing it forcefully and taming it to their whim, the priority subject most Sajins are tackling is the elder dragon deities. Legend, the elder dragon deity legend, and the Rhaelegarian connection to them. Why are we the strongest? Why are we the Peoplz of the dragon? Clever. Sajin studies of energy by Sajin Rabia, Queen Regent. The level of one's mastery is determined by the individual's capability at empowering oneself with the power forged by Ote. Ote. According to research, access to the highest echelon of energy and power to achieve a transformation that a Rhaelegarian might be capable of utilizing. Essentially, when a Rhaelegarian can draw in outside energy of all self while combined it with inside energy of oneself, they later learn how to nurture their unique powers created within their body, more specifically the core of their soul. Doing so allows the combined energies of inner and outer to merge together and mature into a new form of ergokinesis. I gotta interject here. The ultimate energy is not Oat, Riaz. The ultimate energy was, what was it called? What was Makai? Yaga, man. Yaga energy. That was the ultimate energy. Okay? Even though he defiled the game, the Yaga, if you were Yaga born, if you were of Yaga, you were the ultimate energy. So this Oak stuff is the second energy. And since Yaga's gone, then I guess you could say it's the first, and I wasted your time. Sorry, I'll continue. Essentially, where am I? I just assumed it would start with essentially. Here I am. Physical quirks. So this subrace has a physical quirk. Oh man, this sounds nasty. Heterochromia. This was created by Rowena Nightingale. I don't know who that is, but our Riaz is submitting this on Rowena Nightingale's behalf. The Sejin Rhaelegarian's right eye is the same and tied to the mother's lineage, and the left is the same and tied to the father's lineage, which makes it really easy to tell someone's family history. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So that kind of puts some backstory on why R-Type's eyes are two different colors. Cool. All right. Rowena Nightingale. That's a cool name. She Rhaelegarian? Mesa Mart Mythologies. I love that brand, Mesa Mart. He does everything. Mesa Mart Mythologies submits. Hold up. The style of Gokin requires punching a boulder in order to toughen the body against the massive blowback. Otherwise, most warriors would be double self-made amputees. Mesa Mart Mythologies. A popular food is a large crusty bread filled with a blisteringly hot curry named Dragon Delight. Mesa Mart Mythologies. Some of the bones of fallen warlords are so thick they can stop handgun rounds without scratching. Mesa Mart Mythologies. Through secret training, firefighters in the country of Rhaegar are literally fireproof. I'm not surprised. That sounds about right. Mesa Mart Mythologies. Rumor has it they invented the weight bench before the wheel. Never gets old. Mesa Mart Mythologies submits a short story. The short story is called Lady Contra Nami. In one of the previous cycles, a plague was introduced. During this, the co-ruler of Rhaegar, Contra Nami, willingly gave herself the sickness and locked herself in a room for an entire month. During this time, she did nothing but practice Gokin to keep her body temperature up, consumed alcohol, spicy food, and rested afterwards. She emerged cured from the sickness and proceeded to donate all the blood she possibly could to inoculate her people, who in return did the same, quickly killing off the plague, giving her the title of the Phoenix Mother. Ooh, I like that. The Phoenix Mother. In the current timeline, the mother of R-Type X is her reincarnation though no old memories remain. So R-Type's mother is the reincarnation. Some say that R-Type's mother. Maybe no one says it. Maybe that's just some lore that that no one knows. But not Marsha. Mesa Mart Mythologies. Mesa Mart Mythologies, Triple M, they're like TMZ, they're saying that R-Type X's mother is the reincarnation of the Phoenix Mother. Crimson Flame. This is a sub-race submitted by Mesa Mart Mythologies. Crimson Flame. Despite not remembering the origin of the practice, many Rhaelegarians continue the practice of weapons. I think this means weaponizing their bodies against sickness. Their order, the Crimson Flame, is a dangerous but respected group whose blood transfusions cost more than most tank goers see in their entire lives. It is believed that the Hope Diamond briefly offered its services to the Order's founding member, but the jewel tells no tales of those now dead. Hey man, it's not a sub race, but that's interesting, and we'll have plenty of opportunities to submit clans and factions. Maybe we can say that there's a particular bloodline, there's a sub race, and they are a sub race because their blood is different, and blood sub races don't need to be super different. Just want to give some variation for players, and then whoever creates this particular sub race with this crimson blood, they can build and create what it means to be that sub race. All right, put down the Crimsoners, the Crimson Rhaelegarian as the sub race. They are just like normal Rhaelegarian, but their blood is a little bit different. And whatever you want to do with that, that's some good role-playing material right there. Luke Sloan, he submits self-betterment. Rhaelegarians strive for self-betterment their entire lives. They do this to become the strongest, both physical and mentally. If someone is bad at cooking, they will dedicate months to years to become good at cooking. If someone is afraid of heights, they will climb as many tall things as possible, ranging from mountains to skyscrapers. Very good lore submission. Goes right alongside with R-Type was saying, with all this race that everybody is submitting, we gotta have this, right? We gotta make this a playable race. So, I'm gonna see what people vote for, but I'm starting to lean towards making them playable, or keeping them playable, but maybe just, pulling back on all those boons, or just maybe saying there's a small portion of real pure-blooded Rhaelegarians, and they're like that, all across the board, because I like the idea of this race being a warrior race. What Luke Sloan just said, it sounds like these people are just like this, you know what I mean? So of all the races, this race might be the most demanding of role playing. And if you are not role playing this, you're kind of not only an outlier to their culture, but you're going to have to make some darn good sense of why you're not like all the other Rhaelegarians, which could be fun in itself. But, if you're going to represent the Rhaelegarians, you want to do it justice. Rhaelegarian language. The Rhaelegarian language is a member of a very diverse language family. Old Rhaelegarian contained glottal stops and other rare sounds. Hey, this Luke Sloan, I think he's the person that was in the Discord talking about languages and glottal stops. I've never heard of that before. And I typically, when I find things I've never heard of, I look it up. I didn't look that up. I'm still curious. What the hell is a glottal stop? And that I've never heard that word before. But when I hear it, I think of the word guttural, which I know is like coming, like the bass coming from with your belly. You're bellowing. When you're bellowing, it's coming from within. So when I hear glottal, it sounds like a similar word. Using my context clues, it sounds like this is probably something that occurs in people's speech that I had probably heard before, but never really knew that it had a name. So hey, Luke Sloan, can you drop that answer? Can you drop in the comment section what a glottal stop is for anyone who else is curious about that? Because man, you sounded like you knew your shit in that Discord talking about like languages. So one of you were coming up with languages. You're saying you were going to make a language. Hey, make a language for all of these races. That would be awesome. Anyway, however, the glottal stop has recently been lost altogether. Oh, okay. Well, it's lost now. Some sister languages still contain lost Rhaelegarian sounds, such as Tagayar and Olokaran. Olokaran? Maybe I shouldn't try to make it fancy. Maybe it is pronounced as it looks, Olokaran. The Rhaelegarian word for themselves is Rhaelar, which derives from the old words Rhaelegar. He has it all spelled out with the lines and the squigglies. And Luke Sloan on the check-in. Castes. Due to all Rhaelegarians subconsciously being influenced by the Lotus, he's on it. They have developed a caste system to better achieve perfect harmony. I think Riaz did a great job roping everybody in, explaining to them like his vision, and everybody did a great job of taking his vision and like kind of going along with it. That's awesome of you. And hopefully everybody can start to communicate like that, and then make these, it's because everybody was hitting the like button, stoking the flames of creation, and that's why everybody's on a roll like this. However, this caste system is very loosely defined and are only made up of large collections of jobs and occupations. The main castes are makers, distributors, governors, and king. Okay. During the transition from Old Rhaelegarian to Modern Rhaelegarian and its sister languages, the Rhaelegarian people only used a system of glyphs and pictographs. As communication became harder due to the diverging dialects, the scribes convened and developed a writing system based off of the old glyphs. The Rhaelegarian king at the time described the system as being so easy to learn that a poor man could do it in a night. Can we give a round of applause to Luke Sloan? Man, that's tight. Subrace. The Tagayar people moved from the Rhaelegarian homeland to the flat plains to the south. Because of this, they become much more lean and dedicate the majority of their lives to running and becoming faster. So I wanted to say that to the south of Rhaegar, if I'm imagining this right, and there is no official map, but I always envision Rhaegar being over top of Dorinthia, over top of Solia, which is the land of sand where the Solians are from. So when you say to the flat plains to the south, what if we just put solely the lands, and the way the Solians are described, they're brown skin, just like the Rhaelegarians. They're not as diesel. They're slim. I don't know if they've ever said that, but I've always envisioned them as slim. I don't know. No, we'll leave it alone. To the flat plains to the south, the Tagayar subrace. Put that down. Tagayar. Am I saying that right? Tagayar? Rhaelegar? Tagayar. Yeah, probably. All right. Jacob Bastian. Jacob does such a great job with his lore, man. It's what inspired me to ask for a subject line for each fact. It just makes it so easy to handle, from reading it to placing it in the new Lexicodex that you are all going to see real soon. Jacob Bastian on a check-in, he puts men of infamy. Rhaelegarian warriors are infamous throughout the world for their battle prowess. This infamy is so vast that many mercenary armies, when making contracts, will put in the contract that they will not fight Rhaelegarians, while non-mercenary soldiers who are not properly trained will simply quit the field out of fear of a brutal death at Rhaelegarian hands. We gotta have Rhaelegarians being playable. We got to. There's so much swag with this race. We're putting them on this pedestal, and I love that. I want every race to have something about them that's like, yeah, I gotta be them. Or, oh, I gotta be friends with the player who is that race. I need them. Man, look, when this role-playing stuff gets started, and when you see how we're approaching these episodes and these sagas, and when you see how the interactions are gonna unfold, you're gonna hopefully you're thinking about role playing over top of anything else when you create your character. That's all I'm gonna say. Velvet glove over iron fist. Jacob Bastian. Velvet glove over iron fist is the subject line. The Rhaelegarians hold many territories outside their home continent, with many diverse cultures in these territories. While they are usually content to let these different cultures have a degree of autonomy, they will crush and rebel in brutal fashion. Eternal war. Thanks to the harsh and often brutal nature of their homeland, the Rhaelegarian people are in a constant state of war with the beast that evolved to thrive on this land. This combined with the monsters that make their way to the mainland from Monster Island has put the Rhaelegarians in a near constant state of war against these creatures. Yo, that's like, it reminds me of like the kaiju, in Pacific Rim, I think. Man, that's a whole nother storyline that can be happening, or story arc. Like, the Rhaelegarians on the coast are constantly fending off. Yo, I don't know if there's any Final Fantasy VIII fans in here. That's one of my favorite games. But you remember when the Blood Moon was pouring all the monsters from the moon onto the planet? The lunatic tier, or lunatic's tier, or something like that. Anyway, I really like that. Eternal war. Man, they probably have like a night watch. Yo, if a player creates a Rhaelegarian, you have to start the night watch. You have to. Reclusive. The Rhaelegarians, while not outright isolationists, are a very withdrawn people compared to most other people in the world. This is mostly due to two factors, one being their constant war with monsters, and the other being that most don't really see a point in leaving their homeland. With the notable exception of their wandering king, R-Type X, who is trying to bring his people out of their shell by showing them the world with the help of famous streamer Menrisai Ali. Is that the reason why R-Type X? Is that confirmed? Is that one of the reasons you left the throne? With the famous streamer Menrisai Ali. Yo, hey y'all. Wait till you see what we have in store for you. You're gonna love it, especially Venri Usai Ali. All right, misunderstood. Thanks to their near completely isolated nature and brutally efficient ways of waging war, many people misunderstand Rhaelegarians. They are, among other things, viewed as greedy imperialists out to conquer the world, and as many monsters who only care about the next time they get to spill blood. This is not helped by their king's apparent betrayal of Gate, a much beloved force in Haven, and his willingness to wage war on the Haven Guard, who is viewed by many as a revolutionary force trying to free their people. How dare you? And yes, R-Type X waged war against Haven Guard, because when everybody was scurrying to get the fist from Anarchy, Haven Guard, R-Type X, and Psycho Aurelio thought, they went after Haven Guard thinking they had it, but they didn't. All of the rumors and half-truths that help spur these misunderstandings are quite popular with the media of Haven, as it is an easy way to get views and subscriptions. Yeah, I like that last sentence. He pretty much is telling you that this is the perception of Rhaelegarians from the actions and the spin that they put on the actions of R-Type. Subrace, the Udale or Udali is, I don't know. I'm going to say Udale or maybe Udali. Hey, Jacob, how do you pronounce that? The Udale are a small subrace of Rhaelegarians that serve many different roles in the Empire thanks to their unique energies. They have a special energy in them that gives them natural forms of telepathy and telekinesis. Why are you making them stronger, Jacob? It's like, no. This does have its drawbacks. What? Though as while this energy develops their mental capacity and power significantly, it also draws from their bodies, making them physically weak and often sickly. This has led to them being somewhat outcast from the normal Rhaelegarian society. While not outright persecuted, they are often viewed as a disgrace to their birth families, and most are given up at birth to the Udali temples. Oh shit. Regardless of whether they are given up or not, all Udale at one point or another train at these temples. Here they are taught the main traits and cultural characteristics of their race. They are taught how to properly use their powers and how to maintain charisma, kindness, and control over themselves at all times. This has led them to becoming some of the best diplomats, psychologists, and advisors in the world. These are also the roles they usually fill in Rhaelegarian society, amongst other things. So hold up, they let them back into society once they've developed into someone worth sharing the company of the true Rhaelegarians? Is that what you're saying, Jacob? Is that okay with you, Rios? Because that makes Rhaelegarians look bad. that's messed up. It would make more sense if they went to other nations and became, independent from the Rhaelegarian Empire, kind of like the direction you were going in at first. So, hey, Jacob, what do you think about that? Should we tweak that? I'll put it in there as you submitted it, but maybe that's something we can play with for any Rhaelegarian characters who want to be a little different. Become a Udale and see who you can help. You're smart. You have a big brain. Just don't degrade yourself. That's why you got to go to the temple. You got to learn how to be you. Yeah, go to the temple, learn how to be you. Harness the force. Enar Vargar, aka Nuad the Silverhand, submits strength of mind. The Rhaelegarian pursuit of strength may exhibit itself most powerfully in fighting, but it extends to all spheres of life, particularly the sciences. After all, you can't beat evolution by punching it. Right, I agree. As such, many of the Rhaelegarians who have gone to Monster Island and the Beast District weren't there trophy hunting. They've been studying the monsters in their rapidly evolving ecosystem. Oh, so now all Rhaelegarians are meatheads. Some of them actually care about education and sciences over the strengths. Okay. Okay, it's a nice little variance there. We like variants. Omni mining. Rhaelegarians were the ones who figured out how to harvest and shape omnium, and their energy blasts are required for the process. Wow, I like how you built off of existing lore. Awesome. So omnium, you all know, we talked about this a few times, is one of the hardest metals. And I always say one of, because I could have sworn there was another one, but I'm not sure. Omnium, it would make sense that if there's anyone who can contribute to the shaping of omnium, it's going to be the Rhaelegarians and their energy. That's a testament to their energy prowess. Good submission. Love it. Cost of war. Rhaelegarian culture has become so militant and aggressive that their population is currently in the process of crashing. Oh shit. Many of them are so focused on becoming stronger that they never settle down to raise a family, or if they do, they often end up traumatizing and alienating their children. Damn. Rhaelegarian suicide rates are among we going there? Are Rhaelegarians, are they not? I thought they were like confident and, all about the life. Rhaelegarian suicide rates are among the highest in the world. To make matters worse, fighting everything that moves, especially the most dangerous thing you can find, is a good recipe for picking a fight you can't win and dying as a result. If nothing changes, Rhaelegarians are on a path to extinction. Damn. I don't know about that. That's a big spin on that race. That's not how I viewed them. You know what? Maybe that's an underlying issue that gets overlooked. That can coexist. Again, not the whole race has to be like this, but maybe there is a population of this race where this is most certainly a reality. And maybe they're so strong-minded that they overlook it, Like he said, Rhaelegarian culture has become so militant and aggressive that they're probably not thinking about the portion of it that's crashing. This adds more to the race, I think. Yeah, good one. Bullheaded athletes. Rhaelegarians enjoy participating in tourism sports. Oh shit. Especially beast fighting. And and there are numerous famous athletes among them. It's not uncommon for Tarossa to treat the Rhaelar like part of the same race, even playing Headstrong with them. Headstrong is that game that was created. It's not uncommon for Tarossa to treat Rhaelegarians like part of the same race. Hey, that's all the lore for the Rhaelegarians. Really good stuff there. Now we got to come up with the keywords, right? Let's see here. Let's start with the first keyword, racial bond. Being somewhat of an isolated minority, this keyword will assist Rhaelegarian players role-playing that connection that they have with their fellow brothers and sisters. Mind you, without the keyword, it can be done. It's just you should expect better results when supported by the racial bond keyword. That way it kind of simulates that driving force that Riaz described that the Rhaelegarians had, which keep them together. Maybe there's some NPCs out there. Remember, in your details, you can just say, I'm purchasing this from a person, but with your details, you can say it's a Rhaelegarian. Maybe that justifies your racial bond, justifies something greater happening within that interaction. The second keyword is going to be discipline. So players of the Rhaelegarians will need to roleplay the Rhaelegarian accurately. And that means using this keyword to interact with the world around you. Maybe because of your discipline, you can justify why you don't fall for silly pitfalls that play on vices. Or maybe because of your discipline, you can relate with players and NPCs who are also disciplined. Okay? And the last keyword is going to be misunderstood. This keyword can be used to justify an assortment of different NPC reactions to your character. So If a player sends goons your way, you could justify their disposition toward you being that of fear. Or maybe prices are better when negotiating due to the respect that the weapons dealer has for your people. Stuff like that. As far as sub races go, we're accepting all of them. I think this race needs some diversity and variance. Otherwise, every Rhaelegarian is going to be a splitting image of R-Type X. Heck, Star Rift was getting all kinds of flack for being remotely similar to R-Type X. And I thought they were different, but they were both big black dudes with with energy powers. So without the sub races, we are essentially looking at a bunch of R-Type X clones. So vote in the upper right corner. Do we want to keep Rhaelegarians as is and make them an NPC nation? Or nerf them and consider them descendants of the base race so that they're fairly viable, and usable by players? R-Type X is going to be held to the same creation rules as everyone else regardless, so it would make sense that we nerf them and make them usable to everyone, which is what I'm leaning toward, but I want to know what you all think, so please vote in the upper right corner. Feel free to put your reasoning in the comments section. I want to leave it up to y'all. But hey, thanks for listening. Stay tuned as we approach the end of the road to season 3. Lots in store. Peace.